So, good evening. I'm Nelvin Driz. So I'm also a software engineer in Nexus Software Lab. So, there. So today, even though this is Frog, since we're not just using Ruby when developing applications, we're also using like JavaScript. I'm going to talk to you about Handlebars.js. It's minimal templating on steroids. That's the tagline of the. That's actually the title on the title tag of the main website. So that's the website. And then there are also other templating libraries for JavaScript, like Jcode2, Nano, Tempest, Mustache, Pure, Echo, underscore JS. There's also JTemplates for jQuery, and then sRender, and jQuery templates. So what is Handlebars? Wait. Okay, never mind. So why use Handlebars? So because if you want to create web applications, so wherein you have dynamic interfaces wherein large chunks of your document change and modify as you interact with the page. So, and then with that in mind, you want your code to be cleaner and simpler, as well as having your HTML templates or code pretty much in a different place from your actual code, your logic when you create your web applications. So a fast example is you're given JSON data, and then for normal JS you would normally do this. These two output the same thing. So like you create a div and then you append text inside the div. Whereas in Handlebars you just need to compile this is a template. You compile the template and then just supply the data, which is the same JSON. So general details. It is started by Yehuda Katz I'm not sure if it was 2009 or 2006. 2009 or 2010, sorry.
So this was started completely independent of the Sprout Core stuff? Because I know it's used in Sprout Core.
Yeah, it's used. He did this while doing Sprout Core, I believe.
Okay.
And then he was previously using Mustache, and then he had some shortcomings with it, so he built upon Mustache, and then maintained the philosophy of having a logicless templating. Okay. So for Mustache, instead wherein Mustache, like when you generate the actual HTML, it concatenates each string with the dynamic content within that template, whereas Handlebars compiles its templates into a function so that it's more usable. And then finally, it has no dependencies. So quick guidelines for this talk. I'm using jQuery version 1.6.2. I'm using Handlebars.js 1.0.0 beta 3. So just I wouldn't be typing this long string again and again. There wouldn't be any instances that you'd see this again, but all templates of Handlebars would be surrounded by this script tag, which has a type of text/x/handlebars/template. And then the name and ID are just used so that you could easily get the contents. Like for example, for jQuery, put the ID as selector just to get the HTML text template. So a quick example. So we have a template, which is a person. Yeah, just to show you an example, I'll just walk you through all the different nitty-gritty parts of Handlebars. So this is just a quick example. The output will be 1. So the normal JavaScript flow is that you have the data, you get the template, so and then you compile it and you just use the template again and again as much as you want, given a certain data. So first off, we have the most basic dynamic content on Handlebars is an expression. So an example of an expression, we have a template. So an expression can have a value, a function, and then it can be escaped or not escaped. So if you notice, if it's a value, a string, it is just outputted. If it's a function, it is executed. If it is escaped, it only has 2 curly brackets, and if it is not escaped, it would have 3 curly brackets. So just to put that into writing, so it's the simplest dynamic content. It is a handlebar. A handlebar is a curly brace, and then
it's also a type of mustache.
Yeah, actually, when the mustache logo, when I looked at it, oh, it's Pringles. In any case, so it can contain a value, a function, or nothing. And then it escapes results by default, but you can use 3 pairs of handlebars to not escape it. So next is the handlebars path or nesting. So the handlebars path or nesting uses dot operator or double dot operator or a slash. So the first example, we go into the context of person, which has the key value object or hash, or whichever you want to call it, first name and middle initial. And then I go back 1 context up to the parent and get the birthday and month. That's why we have a month output. And then we can also access the inside of a context by using the dot operator, like person.name, and we get, oh yeah, first name, sorry. I forgot to fix that. So person.first name, and we get name. And then there's a deprecated operator, which is person slash middle init, which is the same as a dot operator. So there's also this special expression, which is this in a template. Means it's the current context. When you use the dot operator on a root element, you go into the inner context, and then there's the deprecated /, and there's the dot operator to go to the parent context. And it is chainable in the sense that, for example, you want to go up 2 levels. So you can use .. /.. So next would be blocks. So first, a block is prepended by a hash at the start, as with the title. And then it is ended by the same expression with a /. And obviously prepend. Okay, that's wrong. I just did this slide today, so there were errors. So change
Slash instead of curly brace.
Yeah, and then change the context of the result, the expression. So if you noticed earlier when we changed the context of person to the inside of that with the first name and middle initial. So first we have built-in blocks, which is first the if block. The if block so it's the usual conditionals. So truthy, false, false. So when we mention truthy, this means that it is not 0, it is not false, it is not undefined, it is not null. So it's just the other way around when it's falsy. So the same with the unless block. And then there's this other thing wherein there's the caret sign. The caret sign is almost like the unless block, just without the else part, and 0 is not false. It still shows it up. So the output is wrong. Man, I forgot to update the output. Anyways. So there's also the each block. So it's just iterating through the values. So with the each block, you could use the special this expression. So like this, so the string, and then yeah, I guess you understand that. That's pretty much like bit like Ruby. Next would be the with block.
This is implicit in the last one. Like you had the li.
Sorry.
You have the li
Yeah.
in the second one.
When you
so
go
it's
into
like
the
this dot li or this.
No. Each, so when you get yeah, it's this dot li.
Okay.
That's right. This side. Okay. So there's the with block. So we've been using this a while ago with the person. And then, so basically these are global block helpers that can be used throughout your page when defined. When defined meaning we have custom global block helpers. So you could have special parameters in these when we define custom block helpers with dot, 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 and this for the context. And then the built-in block helpers are each, if, unless, and with. There are special expressions, which is else. That's used for if and unless. There's also the caret expression, just like the unless, but not on zero. And not with the else part. So custom expression helpers. So custom expression helpers, this is the basic one. So register helper greet, function first name, last name, and then we just append. So the output would be hello, first name, last name. So to register a helper, we use handlebars.register helper. The helper name, which is the identifier to be used inside the template, as well as the function that would be executed when the helper is used. So normally the function there would have your parameters and other parameters if you want, and then the final one would be the block. I'll discuss the block later. And then you call an expression like that without any special thing. So there's custom block helpers with as I mentioned earlier, these block helpers would have a hash. So this is modulo. So n modulo 2 is equal to 0. So okay. So let's just go through one by one. So the block would be if you notice, the block would have, by default, the block is this part, the one on the truth part. Let's say just truth. And then when we inverse it, it will execute the one after the else. So that's basically the one part of what block is used. So it uses the hash, it's appended with the hash, the same with other block helpers. And then it also uses the register helper function on the handlebars. And then we could also split the block into two values, which is the true block and the false block, when defining the parameters. So again, true block is the same as block, and false block is the same as block dot inverse. So you call it like a block. So next would be hash arguments. This is primarily used when you are creating helpers. So here's an example, two examples actually. The first one uses the first one is a block helper, and the second one would be a expression helper. So yeah, you could access it through block.hash with a certain key, and then you'd get open, and then there you get the gate would be open. So a hash argument would have key is equal to value pairs, and then accessible to block.hash object. So finally, we have partials. So if you've defined many scripts, just like Rails, we have partials, and you render these partials. We need to register these partials under a certain partial name, which is something like a helper. And then you would insert a template. Either it can be a compile template or a string. And then you use the greater than sign and then the partial name to actually insert the template inside the main template. So extra stuff. So we have we can create a debugger, register a helper debug, and then since this would be the current context, and then the optional value if you want to inspect the value that is passed in that certain area of your template. There's also the listener, like for example, whenever you Okay. So whenever this template is being used, for example, for example, you have a template that you apply to your main content, and then somewhere else you just want to change the title, for example, which is not part of that template. So you bind it to you could bind it while it's rendering this new template, and then just update that remote place in your page. And then the resources would be the Handlebars.js, and directly from the facts, and I think Vitamin, which is also one of the people who's helping you with creating Handlebars. So, any questions?
Have you built something with Handlebars?
Yeah. We've been using that with Backbone.js.
Okay. Backbone?
Yeah. Actually, since Backbone has a dependency in underscore.js, I've looked in the templating of underscore.js, and then when I compared it with Handlebars, Handlebars felt much cleaner, and since it has less logic on the template, so we opted with the Handlebars.
The way I understood it is the workaround for operators is he was using helpers to do that, right?
Sorry?
The workaround for doing operators, to do custom operators, you use helpers to do that, right?
Yeah.
Is there like a library where they're like contributed set of basic helpers?
No, I haven't found one. But would you really want to get this set of helpers wherein you wouldn't really use everything?
Well, basically later on, if you actually use a lot of JavaScript, you might actually want it in one place, everything, and then just.
Well, I haven't really found any repository of these helpers, so maybe it's time to start one.
Written in Handlebars.
So, anyone? Going once? Going twice? Okay, thank you.